What's up, guys? I'm Josh Stover, and this is Stovetop 19. Today I want to have a little chat with you about what my goals and ambitions are for my next project, which I alluded to about a month or two ago. I want to build an electric drag racing mini bike to set a world record. Let's get this going. So, after posting, like I said, a few months back, stating that I want to set a world record building an electric drag racing mini bike, posted it on social media and I got some response back. Found a couple of guys who let me know that there in fact was an association for electric drag racing vehicles, including motorcycles and cars. These guys who contacted me are actually the current world record holders, which was very cool getting to talk to them about their setups and what they're doing versus what kind of my ideas and what I want to do. So I want to go over with you guys what class, what group, and the hardware that I'm using to meet these guidelines. So check this out. Let's start with the association. NEDRA, the National Electric Drag Race Association. They are the association that gives out the electric drag racing world titles. We've got different classes for cars and motorcycles. They're all based on voltage, and I'm going to be racing in the 48 volt class, which is considered their I class. To be considered part of the I class, you have to be between 26.5 volts and 52.8 volts at the time of the race, meaning when you're staging, your voltage has to be within that range. They have three different groups that you can be within your class. First one's going to be a stock vehicle, second one's going to be a modified, the third one is a purpose-built vehicle or a drag racing specific vehicle. Since I'm building this mini bike for drag racing, I'm going to be in the drag race motorcycle class. We're going to be competing in the 8th mile. The current world record for my class and grouping is 7.8 seconds at 80.2 miles an hour. So that's what we're trying to beat. My setup I've got going on, I'm going to be running some lithium iron phosphate cells. They are 38-120 size cells, so they're pretty large. The maximum charge that they can hold is 3.65 volts, and a full discharge is 2.8 volts. Their nominal storage voltage rating is about 3.2 volts. The controller I'm going to be running is a Curtis controller. 1221B-6601 is the model number. It is a 48 volt to 72 volt controller. Has a maximum output of 550 amps for 2 minutes. The motor I'm going to be using is a 24 volt electric pallet jack motor. Should be heavy duty enough to withstand what I'm going to throw at it. That is to be determined, so we'll see how that turns out. Before I talk about how I'm building my battery pack, I want to explain to you how you get the world record. Basically, you have to make 2 passes, one to verify you can beat the world record and then one time to back it up. They will take the slowest of the 2 records unless it's within, I believe, 5% of each other, then they'll take the fastest one. So I need to make sure my battery pack is sufficient enough to run a minimum of 2 passes that day. I want to do more. I would like to, do maybe 10 passes a day. That way you can run it multiple times and have a good time while you're out there. So in order to achieve this, I'm running 16 cells in series and 3 in parallel. What that's going to do for me in my voltage, I need to make sure that I'm above 48 volts to make sure my controller will run. But again, I need to stay below 52.8 volts in order to qualify for the world record. So, with 16 cells in series at a full charge of 3.65 cells, we'll take 16 times 3.65, which will give me 58.4 volts, which obviously is too high for the 52.8 volt maximum. But if they're not fully charged, each cell has 3.2 volts, which is my nominal charge. That'll put me at 51.2 volts, which is well within the range. And that'll allow me to deplete the batteries down to, I'm actually not going to deplete them down to the full 2.8 volts, but I'm going to cut them off at 3 volts to make sure I don't do any damage to my cells. But depleting each cell down to 3 volts times 16 gives me 48 volts. So as long as I'm operating each cell between 3 volts and 3.2 volts, actually 3.3 volts, I'll be able to run this and make multiple passes. So all in all, that's what I want to do with this build. I hope that clears some things up for you guys who've had questions. Again, I've got a clear class and a clear grouping that I'm going to be racing in. and I've got all my hardware so I know what direction I need to go in. If you guys want to be a part of this build, I'm going to drop a link to my Patreon account down in the description below. Being a part of this, you not only will be helping me financially finish this build, but your names will be on my sponsor or my supporter list at the end of each video. If you guys like this video, make sure you hit that like button for me. If you have any questions or comments, drop them in the comment section down below. And as always, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. We're at 400 as of this week, and I'm very grateful. We'll catch you guys in the next video.